My name is Jeff Noble, and I am going to be addressing authentic assessment using a powtoon, which is super exciting for me. So let's get this started. The first question I want to answer is, how will authentic assessment lead to school improvement and higher achievement? So number one, part of authentic assessment is letting students have choice in how they present evidence of learning, and this leads to much greater motivation. The students who get to make their choices will be more motivated in order to want to show themselves. This was seen in the video by Panopoulos. And secondly, the anchors of motivation leads to grit. Angela Duckworth wrote about this in her book called Grit, where she studied college students and how many of them would want to quit in the face of struggle. But if students have choice, and they're going to be much more motivated to follow through and keep going even in the face of struggle. Secondly, many students don't see the point in learning rote facts, so they're going to want to stop. They're not going to want to learn. So authentic assessment moves way beyond the facts. It looks more at learning as a process, learning as learning how to learn, and the assessments will study that process, and this leads to growth mindset. And growth mindset has been talked about much by Carol Dweck, first mentioned in her book on growth mindset, and how students who have a growth mindset are much more likely to continue learning, get to the higher levels, and apply that learning to new situations because they're not worried about, quote, failures where they get a product wrong. They're focused on the process and learning from their mistakes, and everyone's going to make mistakes, and so therefore being able to use authentic assessment shows those students, hey, we're studying not did you get the right answer, but what kind of processes did you use to get there, and how can we do a better job next time. Second thing I want to address is, does authentic assessment hinder or help diverse populations? And my answer is both. One, it's very helpful because student choice gives the underrepresented students something, a say in what they're wanting to learn, and that's something they've always wanted. I work in a school that's 70% free and reduced lunch, and they just feel so trapped at times. They barely make ends meet, and they just feel like they have to go to school, and their parents tell them they have to get C's, and they just feel trapped all the time. And so by bringing in authentic assessment, where maybe they get to show their learning in a new way on projects, they don't just have to take written tests, or maybe they can act out learning in a book, this gives them that choice to express themselves in ways they've always wanted to do. However, I also feel it hurts because the background knowledge, also in research that we looked at in week 2, is very important as students learn new material and as students learn higher level material. And my students are very lacking in background material. They come to the high school without any fundamental understanding, for instance, of fractions and decimals. They know how to type them in on a calculator, but that's it. And so I'm trying to teach them calculus, and they honestly don't even really know what an exponent is and how it works. Amazingly, they can still learn those.